Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Max Payne 3 hardcore difficulty video walkthrough. This is the final section to a live, if not exactly well, and it's a pretty fun on-rails shooting section. So we have a HK, which is pretty damn sexy on this game. I'm never the guy to advocate using light machine guns, because personally I think they're fucking stupid, and generally they don't perform all that well. But on this game, they're terrific. They're really, really good. If you pepper the trigger, or feather the trigger, you'll single shot them, and they do some serious damage to every enemy, regardless of how armoured their extremely thin-looking shirts look. It's such a good gun, and there's two of them in the game. There's kind of like a, I forget the name, like an RPD and a HK, and if you ever see them, regardless of if they've only got like 30 bullets in the clip, pick them up, because those 30 bullets are going to be worth 300 bullets of the standard assault rifle SMG bullshit, pepper guns. But this section here, literally anybody that's shooting at you, you want to prioritise them, and as soon as everyone's shooting at you, there's no real wrong way to approach this. Just try and be as accurate as you can. If somebody's really tagging you and they're a threat, use your bullet time to take them out quickly. And all you're doing here is you're waiting to look in the top left hand corner to see that rotating circle. That rotating circle is everything, because it means you're going to hit a checkpoint, and it doesn't matter how high your boat's life is, because the life is carried between periods. If you die, you'll have more life than you did when you were in that section, and you'll be fine, because you'll just go through it, and there you go. All it is chasing checkpoints at this point, and luckily enough for me, I think I only needed to use the checkpoint once towards the end, because my boat's life got so low, but it's one of those things where this section is so heavily checkpointed, you shouldn't have any real issue with it. And like I say, the on-rail moments are fun. They are more fun than challenge, and that to me is perfect. And that's why I think Battlefield 3 did it right, because every time you got behind a turret, you were never ever in trouble of dying. You get behind a turret on Gears of War or a Call of Duty, and you'll probably get turned into sushi, because you die so fast on those games in every instance. But these games are smarter, and thank God for that. So a couple of these huts are going to have explosive barrels and things that you can shoot, and it's fun to prioritise them, but sometimes it's better to shoot the goons. And right now I decided to shoot the tank, and this tank takes a pounding, and my ship gets railed because I'm not shooting any of the dudes. The plus side here is they will get set on fire by the plumes of the flame, but I'm not too sure what the best priority is here. To shoot that propane tank, to do that, or to kill those guys first and then shoot the tank. But either way works, as I've just proved. And just keep moving forward, shooting more dudes, and having a good time, because this is a cool level. I do like the rails on these games. On this game, should I say. But there's going to be another one of the slow motion moments coming up where you dive into a boat and you're shooting a bunch of dudes. Fabiana is in the boat, so you don't want to shoot her. Or you do want to shoot her to see a really funny cutscene of her getting bukkakied with bullets, but that's entirely up to you. And there's an achievement for, I think, hitting 9 people on that moment, and I wouldn't say do it on the harder difficulties, because they just seem to take a lot more damage. And I can never hit everyone, and I've tried, and I've replayed it, and I always miss one guy. And my performance on the guide was less than stellar, but I've tried a couple times and I've not been able to hit them all, so maybe easiest difficulty is the way to go with that, but I've not tried the easiest yet, so they might have the same amount of life, you just might get more bullet time, I'm not too sure. But just keep chasing the checkpoints, keep shooting the dudes, and you should be okay. And I do want to tell you how I feel about the game, but there's so much stuff moving in my mind right now that I'm going to forget some really salient points. So I'm just going to bring up throughout the recording of this guide some bits that I found good, some bits that I found bad, and some bits that, just didn't make sense or made perfect sense. Like, speaking of not making sense, one thing that I really didn't understand was pesos throughout the game. Like, there are certain moments when really important story, plot-driven events unfold, and the dude's nowhere to be found, and the game never tells you where he went. It just he leaves the room with Marcelo, and we're just left to our imaginations to wonder what the fuck they were getting up to while I was finding out all this shit that's smearing their name. And that, to me, could have been better, because it just feels like a plot thread that's just completely left in a gaping hole. And there's a couple moments like that where I feel that the game doesn't quite convey what it's trying to say with the story. Because the story itself is much more sinister and serious than the previous Max Payne's. Even though the subject matter is kind of similar, it doesn't have the same kind of humour, the same kind of, you know, dark lightheartedness that the other games had, that Remedy perfects so well. This game's a lot more GTA-like, with its extremely serious, down-to-earth, if not, you know, slightly kooky cast. And it's done well. I'm not saying it's not done well, but I do think that the language barrier makes some of the plot developments much more difficult and much more distant, because I do think not being able to tell what everyone is saying puts, you know, a barrier between you and them and the context of the story that's developing. And I understand its feature. Its feature is to make Max feel isolated in a country that's always hostile. I mean, if you can't speak the language, it's from bad to worst immediately, and it does isolate him in a really special way, but I think it also affects the storytelling and the narration. But I'm going to talk more about these kind of things amidst the gameplay, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope it's helping, and you take care now.